nobody's home. So I just got back from genetics, or not genetics, evolution, and we were talking about sexual selection again, just like in ecology, the greatest subject ever, because just all kinds of hilarious things come up. Like, there's this, well, so they talk about how females can get material benefits from males when they mate, and one of the examples was how there's this type of bug that its semen is like a sack of nutrients as well, so like the semen is inside the female and it's also like hanging out so she can just eat it while she's being impregnated. Anyway, or fertilized, I guess. And then he was just talking, our professor was like, yeah, so the male just brings the female a snack while he copulates with her. And then I was just thinking about humans, and if that happened, like a guy would like bring you a pizza that you ate while he had sex with you. And I just, it's really funny. It's really not, but it is. And then we were talking about this other type of bug that strokes the female's back when it mates, which really has no genetic benefit, but the females prefer the fast-stroking males, so it follows the sexy sons hypothesis, where the males that are fast strokers, so the females that mate with males that are fast strokers will have sons that are also fast strokers, so then they'll have more grandchildren because the females prefer fast strokers, and it's just fast stroking sexy sons. What more could you want out of a college class? So I too prepared a list of things to talk about because there are just so many things that have happened to me in the last week and one day since I talked to you guys that I just found amusing, so hopefully you guys find them amusing too. Well, we'll start with Jen the Pig Mutilator. So Jen is my roommate, as you know, and I told Robin and Gracie the story, but Timon and Caitlin haven't heard the story yet. We were waiting for the shuttle after physics, and Jen says, will you help me hide some bottles? And I'm thinking, alcohol. She's like, I was like bottles of alcohol? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, why don't you just recycle them? I was thinking they were empty bottles. And she was like, no, they're full. And I was like, where do you want to hide them? And she's like, behind a bush. Why? So that I can take a celebratory shot after my OChem quiz. And I was like, what is wrong with you? Like, why don't you just wait till you get back to the apartment? And she was like, well, I just think it'd be more special if I could take it right after the test. And I was like, okay. I was like, I took OChem. It really wasn't that bad. Sorry, but I don't know. And then, so on Saturday, I heard from Tiffany that she didn't want to go out with her friends because she knew if she went out with her friends, she'd be too drunk the next morning for her tennis match. First of all, the fact that you can't hang out with your friends and not drink, and second of all, the fact that you can't drink and not be drunk the next morning. It is possible. Like, crazy. You can drink alcohol and not be drunk the next morning. So anyway, so instead she bought these pig legs from the butcher, got them somehow, and then I come home on Saturday night. Well, we'll come back to Saturday night. So came back at like 12:30 on Saturday night to my apartment, and they're all, my two roommates, Jen and Nikki, are like settled in, watching a movie and eating dinner, and then Jen is sitting at the table, at the counter, with pig's feet, and I kind of knew this was going to happen because Tiffany told me, and she was stitching them, like practicing stitching pig's feet for when because she wants to be a doctor, and I'm just like, what? First of all, 12:30 at night, why? Second of all, that's what med school is for, and like, doctor's assistants and shit, like, you don't need to be practicing stitching now, what is wrong with you? I don't get it. So, Saturday night, drunky neighbors. So, we have some neighbors, Travis and Brandon, that are our friends. I mean, other people, the other guys in the room are kind of weird, but those two are, like, our main friends. And they were drinking on Saturday night, and they were really drunk. Like, just for example, if you didn't see my Snapchat and hear about it on Messenger, Travis was laying on the ground, like, and not like just doing that, just laying on the floor, and not like for like a couple seconds, like for several minutes, like 20 minutes probably, And so he was just laying on the ground doing that, and then if anyone's arm or leg or body part of any sort, well, let's go with arm or leg, was anywhere near, he just started biting you. I said, what are you doing? And he was very, very drunk, because he's not normally that weird. And so he was out in the hallway, and I was standing, and he was laying on the ground, and he was trying to untie my shoes, and so I was trying to, like, get him to stop doing that, and I lifted my foot up, but his head was, like, right in front of my knee, and I kneed him in the head. Yikes. And then, as I was also talking about on Messenger, my other guy, Brandon, I was just sitting there, like, looking, like, whatever, hanging out, and then I look over, and he has crawled under the coffee table, and it's just, like, scooting across the floor under the coffee table. Like, what are you doing? And then Travis tries to pull him out from under the coffee table while this other girl tries to, like, sit on the coffee table so he can't get out from under it. I don't know. It was a mess. So then after that, I came back to my room, and Jen was mutilating a pig. So, oh, and then also on Saturday night, there's this guy, this video's gonna be really long, but sorry about it. There was this guy, Samuel. Well, okay, so his name is Brian, but when I met him last year, I was drunk, and he introduced himself as Samuel, and he's just been Samuel ever since. So every time I see him, I'm like, Samuel! And so he was in the hallway, and I was, like, leaning against the wall on the other side of the guy's room, because they were out in the hallway or whatever, and then he just comes and leans on the wall next to me, and then he just decides that he was with, like, a group of his friends that I kind of knew. I knew, like, one of the guys, anyways, and he just decided that he wasn't gonna leave the wall until I left the wall, and he was like, whoever leaves the wall loses, and I was like, alright, because my room is right there, and I was like, I don't have anything to do tonight. I was just, like, leaning against the wall, and he was like, Dana, come on, just leave the wall. And it ended up being, like, a 20 to 30 minute ordeal where Samuel would not leave the wall, and then all of his friends were like, come on, Brian, come on, we're going, like, and they were leaving him, and he still wouldn't leave the wall, and I won, he lost, he eventually left the wall, so, heh, Samuel. What else? Tom Hester got groped, so I guess Tom went to this concert, and he was saying that he, like, was standing there, and these girls someone behind him, he assumed was girls, started in there, like, they started with tickling my leg, and then it was, like, my hip, and then they were, like, grabbing my bicep, and then finally they just went for it, and, like, grabbed my junk, and then I turned around and was like, hey, what's up, and then saw braces and realized they were, like, 16-year-old girls. It's like, Tom gets groped by 16-year-old girls. Headline. My coach makes me afraid to go to the bathroom. So, yesterday at practice in the morning, because your stomach's kind of unsettled at 7 o'clock in the morning, and so I had to shit so bad, and I normally just kind of, like, try and ignore it for practice, because no one, like, leaves in the middle of practice to go to the bathroom, because we don't have a bathroom at our field. You have to go to the locker room, which is a little bit away, and people just don't go to the bathroom, so I never, like, know if we're allowed to or not. I mean, I assume we'd be allowed to go to the bathroom, so finally I was like, I'm dying, so I asked our assistant coach for the keys to the locker room, and ran to the locker room, went to the bathroom, and then I came back, and my coach, like, beckoned me over, and I was like, oh shit, and she was like, what's wrong? And I was like, nothing, I just had to go to the bathroom, and she was like, but everything's okay? And I was like, yeah, I mean, I took Alka-Seltzer Plus this morning, which is kind of fizzy, so unsettled my stomach, and she was like, well, why'd you take Alka-Seltzer Plus if you knew it was gonna make your stomach upset? And I was like, well, I didn't know it was gonna make my stomach upset. And she was like, well, why'd you take it? And I was like, because I feel like I'm coming down with a cold, so I wanted to take some, like, vitamin C, and she was like, okay, well, but everything's okay, though. I mean, you seem like you're playing weirdly. I was playing like shit because I had to shit. I was like, nope, I mean, we're good. I just had to go to the bathroom. She was like, okay. It's fucking weird. Like, can't go to the bathroom. Okay, we'll save that story for another time. The Wonderful World of Waggy. Something for y'all to look forward to next week. So hopefully maybe it's progressed more by then. Bye!